Hello, my name is Kelsey Robbins, and I will be doing a rebuttal to Kelly Brennan's Why the U.S. Military Should Be in the Middle East. I will be arguing why we should not be in the Middle East. For the first point he makes, he says that the reason why we should be in the Middle East is due to the massive oil reserves. Though there is truth in that, there are other countries outside of the Middle East that make up the world's top 10 biggest oil reserves. According to the CIA World Factbook, Venezuela has an estimated 302 billion barrels of crude oil reserves. The number 3 country is Canada with 170.5 billion reserves. Though retrieving oil from that area in Canada is more difficult, it isn't impossible, and technology has been improving rapidly to support this idea. Canada is a neighboring country that we have excellent relations with. Staying in the Middle East militarily is a weaker argument because of the other opportunities of working with other countries, especially those we consider allies. Additionally, the Department of Defense receives one of the largest budget allocations in our government, and a large majority of their budget is dedicated towards Central Command. Central Command covers the Middle East and Northern Africa. Though we have been proven to be winning the fight against terrorism in that region, there are regions throughout the entire world in which we can spread the budget to and better use our resources, maybe even save some money instead increase the budget outside of the Department of Defense. The second point he makes is that the reason why they're staying in the Middle East is due to the rise of non-state actors. There is no easy answer or quick solution to getting rid of violent non-state actors on the rise. But I do know that throughout history we have helped grow the seed and pass along tactics, techniques, and procedures to militias that turned into terrorist organizations. Of course, we never had the intention in doing so or thought we'd be fighting those we once helped fight worser evils. Military presence in the region is stuck in the circular pattern of getting rid of organizations just for other ones to replace them. What needs to be done is changing a mindset. That is more difficult to do. How do we do that? A bigger presence in human rights organization and funding to help the education systems in those areas is a start. Funding psychologists to understand the whys behind an organization's motive is another idea. These are just suggestions that aren't original to my own thought, but have been talked about on a larger scale. Negotiations are another more diplomatic way that non-state actors and state actors have been doing and actually have been making progress, though very slow. The third point he makes is that our allies are in the region. He only refers to one country that we have helped holistically, and that being Jordan. There are other countries and conflicts around the world that could use the impact that we've done with Jordan instead. China and Russia are becoming bigger and bigger competitors, and we're spending too much time concerned with the Middle East. We need to have this impact on states that border those countries to help keep our own country from falling behind in advancements on all levels of the spectrum. Overall, Kelly Brennan did a great job in defending and arguing his stance, but foreign policy and the U.S. military presence in the Middle East is not a simple matter in the slightest. This issue tends to be consistently debated in our government from both perspectives. And before I close out of this video, I just want to say I've challenged myself in looking at this issue from a different perspective. I also am an active duty Air Force member that does believe we should be involved in the Middle East, but I enjoyed playing the other side of this project. Thanks for listening.